obligation to children to consider the harm caused by climate change. She has to do so when deciding whether to approve the expansion of a new coal mine. The ruling was in response to a bid by 8 teenagers to force the federal government to ban the mine's expansion in New South Wales. The judge rejected the application, but noted the amount of carbon dioxide that would be released into the atmosphere if the mine was allowed to expand.
The 100 million tonnes of CO2 attributable to the burning of coal from the extension project is likely to cause a tiny but measurable increase to global average surface temperatures.
Well, legal experts say comments by the judge opened the door for future lawsuits against other companies. The young activists also believe the judgment is a sign of real change.
Today's judgment is both thrilling and deeply relieving. The judge has recognised that the minister has a duty to take reasonable care not to cause us injury resulting from climate change. The court did not order an injunction stopping the mine, but it's not over yet. There will be further submissions on what the duty of care means for the minister's decision and the mine.
Singapore's water agency, PUB, will deploy autonomous drones to patrol 6 reservoirs. They will observe water quality and monitor water activities such as fishing and paddling. It's expected to free up 5,000 man-hours a year. Taking off from a pod, this drone at Marina is one of the first 2 that will start work from the end of the month. The other will be at MacRitchie. Each weighs up to 17 kilos and can fly up to 60 meters high. From the control hub, one pilot can monitor and control up to 4 drones. The drones can analyze videos in near real time. They trigger alerts when they detect activities such as illegal fishing. They can also sense kayaks in and outside of permitted zones. They study water quality and identify aquatic plants overgrowth. PUB says no personal data like facial recognition will be collected. 4 more drones will be rolled out at Serangoon, Kranji, Lower Seletar and Lower Peirce later this year. PUB is tapping on ST Engineering's proprietary drone operating system. Joe Biden has made tackling climate change one of his main goals as president. The environment is at the centre of a nearly $2 trillion jobs and infrastructure bill he's trying to get through Congress. But can his strategy work at a local level? Kate Fisher reports from a town in Pennsylvania whose residents believe their contaminated water has caused serious illness and death in their community.
Growing up near 2 military bases, as children, Joanne Stanton and Hope Gross loved to stand at this fence, watching as members of the Navy torched an aeroplane during their weekly fire drills.
The plane sat right in the middle.
They had no idea the spectacle was leaching dangerous chemicals known as PFAS into their water.
And if you get down the hill there at the street, that's where there's like a little creek.
In 1990, my dad was diagnosed with cancer and passed away within like 30 days. The neighbor right next door here, he had passed away 3 months before my dad from a brain tumor. All of our 8 pets that we've had growing up all had cancerous tumors and died, every single one of them. So about 3 months after we buried my father, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
Joanne's son developed a brain tumour at 6 years old.
There were 3 of us who grew up in Warminster on the same street within a few houses, and we each had children with the same type of brain tumour. You can imagine how gut-wrenching it was to comprehend the fact that my exposure may have actually caused my child's cancer.
The Department of Defence closed the base in 1997, but the pollution remains.
This is the runway. I mean, they would fly in and land this whole strip.
The activist organisation, the Environmental Working Group, estimates that 85,000 homes in the area have unsafe drinking water.
I find it ironic that the very entity whose job it is to protect the American people has actually given a lot of American people and their own military cancer and other diseases.
I feel for me and for my family and for this whole community, like, we were poisoned without consent. You know, we were poisoned. It's the bottom line. We can sit here as Americans and our own federal government is poisoning us.
Well, hello again, everyone.
But US President Joe Biden has pledged to change things, promising access to safe drinking water for all and to hold polluters accountable. And he says he can create jobs while doing it.
That's why when people talk about climate, I think jobs. Within our climate response lies an extraordinary engine of job creation and economic opportunity, ready to be fired up.
Our chemistry.
One such business is sustainable chemistry startup Sudoc.
We've, in the last 6 months, created 10 jobs. I would imagine in the next year, we're going to create 50, 100 jobs. In the next 5 years, I would hope we create 1,000 jobs.
The company's developed a product which it says can replace and eliminate toxic chemicals in the environment.
It has the power of a super strong chemical like chlorine or quatrimonium, which are, great cleaners, but it disappears. So it doesn't stay around. And we have a very strong set of evidence that we do not disrupt the systems of human beings. But we're not just going to take our evidence. We're going through third-party testing.
That kind of innovation has come too late for Hope and Joanne, but their wish is that a president who says he wants to create a greener America will keep his promises and ban the chemicals which have marred so many lives. Kate Fisher, CNA, Warminster, Pennsylvania.
Eugenia is back in a moment with your Asia business update, including Amazon bringing James Bond and Rocky into his battle with Netflix. Later, Singapore scientists discover ways to use frog skin and fish scales to repair human bones.
It's a human catastrophe of epic proportions. Thousands are dying every day in India as it battles the raging coronavirus crisis.
हमारे सामने उन्होंने दम तोड़ा, हम कुछ नहीं कर पाए। मेरी वाइफ चली गई, मेरे दोनों ब्रदर इन लॉ गए और मदर इन लॉ एक्सपायर्ड हो गई।
Has India lost control of the pandemic?
If you step out right now, you step out to die.
India's COVID catastrophe. Insight tonight on CNA.
From the top stories in Asia.
A quicker, portable way of testing for COVID-19 in just 5 minutes.
To breaking news in the US and Europe.
US President-elect Joe Biden is set to formally introduce his top economic team.
With an eye on markets opening across the world.
Wall Street's major indices all closed the month with double-digit percentage gains.
It's the one bulletin that offers you a global perspective. World Tonight, daily on CNA.
ちゃんは山梨名物のほうとう食べたいもの触れていません。
俺全部いつも置くかな。
そうやってなるんだ。
いい話。はいはい。
Japan Hour, Saturday on CNA. Japan Hour is brought to you by Sumitomo Corporation and SMBC.
In 1977, we took air travel to a whole new level when it comes to exclusivity.
4 Singaporeans go back in time to search for more answers from Singapore's past.
What was the experience on the Concorde like?
The pilots can actually see the curvature of the Earth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
From tracking down a legendary white crocodile.
We have here the only mention of white crocodile, Buaya Putih, in the Straits of Singapore.
There's this element of, what's the truth there?
To uncovering what used to lie under an iconic building.
This great building here is very curious.
What we are looking at is the full extent of Kampung Glam, actually.
What else lies forgotten in the vault of time?
In the early days, you could just walk into a shop and buy a gun.
Wait, so back then, people could keep guns at home?
Oh, we had guns at home. My father was a gun owner.
Wow.
Watch Into the Vault 3 on demand at cna.asia.